Hello and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I want to talk about my Chinese Juniper. It's sitting right over here and I don't know how to go about this one. I got it in the late fall of 2021 and I spent all last year wondering if it was still alive. I had brought it to my club meeting when I first got it, and it was a bright yellow. And I thought it was just what it was supposed to be, which is, oh, that's coming out, is that backwards? Juniperus chinensis Gold Coast. So I thought it was a golden Chinese juniper, and it is a Chinese juniper, but this year it's not gold at all. Even the new growth is beautiful green. So last year it didn't do much. I couldn't even tell if it was alive. The people in my club said, oh, they sold you a dead tree. Look at it, it's all yellow. But it did green up last year, but it was a dull green. I thought it was just on its way out. I had put it in a pot, and that was the only thing I did. I may have trimmed one branch off. I did. I trimmed one branch off because it was kind of in the way and crossing through things, but I didn't think that would have any effect at all. It's alive. It's now 2023, just beginning the growing season. It's in a pot, but pruning this thing is going to be a little bit, well, I'm going to need help. So tonight is my club meeting. I'm going to bring this tree, but I want to give you guys a look at it. I thought about bringing the camera to the club meeting, and last time I did, and I asked if it would be okay, and I didn't feel like I got a positive response. They may be all right with it, who knows, but I'm going to get their input tonight on this mess and see what they say. I mean, there are some obvious branches that I want to take off. Why don't I just show you the tree? So I think this tree has tremendous potential. This is the branch, the location of the branch I took off, and that really was the only thing that I did, this one branch here. And, you know, it's probably going to heal over fine. There's a little bit of, I don't know, it looks like rot here, but this is a nice chunky tree. I don't know what that is. It's got some bark flaking off here as well. I'll probably give that a go tonight, peeling that off. I wired it into this pot because it was a little loose. I had not wired it in at first, and the root system was pretty bad. I did some significant root work to this to get it in this pot, and that's one of the reasons I thought it had died. But it is definitely not dead. There's new growth here. This is my one and only juniper, so I have no experience with junipers, but the price was right. So that's why it's sitting here in my yard right now. It was an end of season sale at a local nursery, not even a big local nursery, just a mom and pop very near my home. I stopped in to see if they had anything on the discount shelf, and this was there. So it was reasonable. But what do I do with this tree? It's got some attributes that make me think a windswept would be a nice feature on this tree. Got this branch, and Then there's all of this. So what do I do with all of this? I can probably keep that one and bring it over. Remove this, remove this little branch here. But not everything sweeps in that direction. I've got this whole trunk here that has one reek branch that kind of sweeps in that direction, but there's this other part here. So what do I do with that? Like I say, I think this tree has tremendous potential, but in my hands, with as little experience as I have with junipers, I need help. So I'm going to be asking my club members tonight what they think. I may take some action tonight. Like I said, I don't think that they're up for being on video. Maybe after they see this, they may change their mind. But for this tree, you may just see the aftermath. I'll do a follow-up on it. But I'd be interested to know what everybody thinks. I'm gonna take a look around to see that you're seeing it from all angles. I mean, this is kind of the front I had in mind, but there could be multiple fronts. I want you to be able to see it and comment. What's a mother to do? So like I said, this branch will probably come off, but the one that does sweep around is kind of weak. This one is kind of weak. I would not want to rely on using this as a branch on this tree. This one, which comes, well, they both come off this secondary trunk. This one has, trying to see the best angle for it, it must have broken and healed, or not quite healed. There's a break here, so I wouldn't want to rely on this to guide the direction of this tree. This is lovely here, the way this goes up and around. I like that. But how do I make pads when I could flatten these out with wire. This is a difficult subject for me. I like my upright deciduous trees. I like my upright coniferous trees. These sprawling trees really have me stumped. So while I'm not going to do anything right now, I will probably be doing something this evening. Hello, it's the next day now, and I had my club meeting last night, and this is the result of the club meeting. I cut a branch off here, here, and here, big branches, and one off back here, and I shortened this. Well, this wasn't showing, but it was kind of a big, fat nothing that needed to come off. So one of the things I want to do today is refine these cut points and get them ready to roll over nicely. I'll use my Dremel. This is an old one. I'll refine that a bit. And the other thing that came out of last night's meeting was, well, while that's a nice front, this, if it's elevated, the other thing that came out of last night's meeting was that if this was the front, then this is a better planting angle for it. Let me see if I can get a better shot of that. That is a nice front, probably more like that. And I've got to be able to train these branches to be flatter. This one I may bring down a bit into this space. And I've got to learn how to do that. I was watching Bonsai Science and she was working on a juniper, and she's going to wait till these growing tips harden off a bit. I put some wire on this last night also at their urging, but I'm not certain about this piece here. Looks a little contrived. I didn't bring any wire with me. One of my club members, Ralph, very generously allowed me to use some of his wire, which was helpful. But I'm still not sure about that top piece here. I think it would be better to cut it there, cut this off, and just let it go in that direction. So that was the result of last night. Those big cuts are not going to be seen. There's a little one here, and there's an old branch here that probably should be trimmed off. But that's it. That's my juniper. What was the front, and now what is the new front? Right about there. So let me get started on dremeling, and I'll let you see it when I'm done. Okay, that was noisy and dusty. So I'm just going to clean these up with an X-Acto knife. Just to get the edges clean. I learned that on the internet. Turn the fan off. You guys have taught me that a clean edge equals a clean heel. There's also some places here where there's a space between the bark and the tissue. So I'm going to try and get that down also. The idea is to eliminate all of the places where little buggies can hide, where disease can get in. And you got to feel for the grain when you're doing this. Start going against the grain and tearing, you're going to be unhappy with the results. So just get a feel for that. Like, for instance, the grain just turned here, so I got to go in two directions. And this is probably going to be in this direction. Yep. So I'll get some cut paste on the places where there might still be a space, like right here. I don't know if you can see that. See if I can zoom up on that. You can't really see it, but there's a space right here. So I'm gonna try and get rid of that. Get to some live tissue there and have it start rolling over from a different point. Maybe reduce this bulge somewhat. Lot of dust. When it starts to resist, go in the other direction. And please be careful of your fingers. All right, and just flatten out this on the top. There'll be a bump there. I don't think I'm going to worry about that little bump. Well, maybe I am. So try and get rid of it. This wood's been dead for a while up here. This is an old one. That's the best I'm going to want to do. Let me get this one going. This one's going to heal beautifully. And we'll talk about the overall design, I think, later. I got to see what this tree sends out. I gotta try and flatten off the growth up top. Try and get some pads, or at least something resembling pads, started. Like I said, this tree has potential, and I'm trying to realize the potential. While I'm still able to. I have a question. This is going to be a secret reveal of mine, too. I never let you see it. But I often quote a YouTube guy and try and guess who this is. When I'm doing it, like he does it, I fire my fingers in. I just fire them in. And I don't ever let you hear me say it, but I often say it. So who's that? Who's that? Who's that guy? He's one of the first. It was Nigel Saunders, and then I heard Nigel talk about grow and clip bonsai for seniors. So I started watching that on the train. Everybody's got some tips that they would like to impart. And when they take the time to impart those tips, let's take them. So I fire those fingers in when I'm packing sphagnum moss. Now this is going to be the back of the tree. Why am I taking so much care with it? Well, because this was my front at one time, and it may still look good like a front someday. So I want it to heal over nicely. This is always going to be funky here. I don't know if this is whatever, but I think I'm reluctant to use any cut paste at all. Maybe, no, I'm not going to use cut paste. I'm going to watch these. I'm going to look for any kind of infestation. This one will only have to start rolling over here. It's already rolled over there. I just hollowed it out a little bit so it would roll over more nicely. And there was one on this side, which I'm certain you want to cut from this direction. I'm sure my hair is in the way. I'll be getting a haircut later today, so it'll be a little bit more out of the way. Yeah, so that's one of the phrases that has stuck with me. Just wonder how many others fire their fingers in when they're packing sphagnum. A couple of little anomalies. Like, that was an old branch. Do I leave it? For character. And then that's an old branch. What do I do with that? I don't know right now. But if this is my front, I got to do something, right? That looks awful. Let me just try to snip it out with a branch pruner. Just this viewing angle. And this is the front. This seems excessive to me. But I guess that's what this is all about, right? My club mates were very helpful, all of them. They all brought trees of their own. But we all kind of walk around, and if someone solicits help, like I did last night, everyone was very helpful. Doc and Ralph especially. And Ralph, I know you watch. We took a lot off this tree last night. I took a picture of that, so I'll show that. All right, so that's it for the trunk. The old front. The old front was here. And these branches, I don't even remember what they look like. They're gone. This is not a very pretty front right now. So, and that wasn't the reason we chose a new front. This is our new front. And this is the new planting angle. So, haircuts. I'm going to wait wiring. Well conceived, well conceived. The jury's out on this one, if I'm the juror. Seems contrived. I'll trim this though. Seems like I want the vigor to go in that direction, and these naturally did. That seems off. Okay, that's it for my Juniperus chinensis Gold Coast. So this is a future nice tree. Got a natural gin here. A natural collar on the old bark. This looks dangerous the way it is. I like that. So old front, new front, leaning towards you. That is the reason that it was given to me, but I gotta shorten it up and I've gotta redirect a lot of this. And that's where I'm, least experienced. So I'll be watching you guys. If you got one of these, pull it out and show me what to do. Maybe it'll become evident to me. I'm hoping it does. All right. Once again, from Steve's backyard, thanks for keeping me company.